After launching in July in China, the Honor Magic V5 has now gone international. And by that I mean Europe. You can't buy it officially in the US. Semantics. We're here to talk about rivalry, because it is up against this now. The Honor Magic V5 was supposedly only 8.8mm thick, but putting a caliper to it shows otherwise. As it turns out, the pre-installed screen protector out of the box adds a few micrometers, and it also appears like the white model is the thinnest. I assume other paint jobs add a little bit more to it. Semantics again. Look, a pre-installed screen protector is nice, especially since you're often going to place your phone like this on a table, right? I'm just saying that out of the box, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 is slightly thinner than the Honor Magic V5, even though, in my opinion, at this level of thinness, it really doesn't matter. Both of these phones feel like a normal smartphone when you're holding them folded up. Just look at that, they are about as thick as a Galaxy S25 Ultra. And they both have full 6.4 and 6.5 inch cover screens with the 21:9 aspect ratio, so they just feel normal. It is when you open them up that the magic happens. They both have 8-inch main screens with almost square aspect ratios. The Honor is about 4:3.7 and the Galaxy Z Fold 7 is about 4:3.6 if you want to split hairs. The Samsung has a slightly wider main screen. But that aside, both panels look lovely. OLED, of course, 120Hz, of course, HDR capable, of course. The Magic V5 specs say peak brightness can reach 5000 nits, whereas the Z Fold 7's peak is listed at 2600 nits. Now, peak brightness doesn't mean a lot, because that's a manufacturer lab test where they only measure a tiny portion of the screen for a limited time, so basically all the energy can blast a few of the OLED pixels on screen and get a lot of brightness. We measure 20% APL, which kind of sort of represents real-life use with only 20% of the screen's pixels going full blast. And here the Galaxy got a lot more brightness out of its screen. And at full brightness, meaning the entire screen is going searing hot white, both measure about the same. Also worth noting, the Galaxy's minimum brightness is also better, dropping below 1 nit. The Magic V5 stops at 1.6 nits, which is still pretty good for bedside viewing. If your eyes are extra sensitive to light, first of all, stop using your phone in the middle of the night, but secondly, the Z Fold 7 may treat you a bit better. Both have their fingerprint scanners in the power button, and I have to show you this. Both employ this modern style of registering the fingerprint. You don't lift off and tap, lift off and tap, lift off and tap. You just place a finger and swipe across the button to get the scan. Pretty cool. Well, okay, the Honor does want me to lift a few times, but semantics. Practically, this doesn't mean a lot for users, as you will probably just set it up once and forget about it. Feels like more of a feature for phone reviewers that switch phones often. Hey, aren't you still using an old Galaxy S24 Ultra? Hey, shut up! Now, these have a lot of the same hardware inside. Of course, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has the special 4 Galaxy Snapdragon that has been overclocked to presumably dominate the market. I'll get to that. Hold on until it benchmarks. But where you will find they differ is in the software experience, maybe, or do they? So both Samsung and Honor throw so much at you. Their UIs are so enriched that they barely resemble Android anymore. You've got your home screens now with big folder options. I love big folders because you can still fit more icons on one screen. But look, you can launch an app straight up, no need to dig through the folder first. We've got the sidebar for favorite apps and multitasking here. We've got the plethora of settings and screen adjustments. Honor even forked the blue light filter and auto color adjustment into an entirely new menu called I Care. And of course, both have AI on board. The Magic V5 even has this full-blown video editor with multi-track so you can edit your reels right from the get-go. One feature that really surprised me was AI deepfake detection on the Honor. Basically, you can activate it in video calls and it will analyze pixels for anomalies, let you know, hey, maybe that's not your grandson on the video, hang up now, maybe call the police. Just imagine grandma rocking one of these phones though. But yes, that's AI done right. And I definitely see the potential need for more such tools in the future. Rumor has it that Samsung is also working on such AI guardrails against AI scammers. So we create the AI problem and then we create the AI solution. Humanity in a nutshell. Now, where I really like the Honor Magic OS better is this multitasking scenery. It's called 3-app split screen, and I can either have all 3 apps in tall format like this, or I can make them bigger. And then I just swap through the screens by tapping on the left or right corner. Very cool, keep it up. Also, Samsung had to ditch the S Pen support for the Galaxy Z Fold 7 in order to make it this thin and has yet to offer an alternative. The Honor Magic V5 does support the Honor Magic Pen, that's a lot of magic stuff, which has like 4096 pressure levels, angled section and pencil-like tip. Now, the bad news is that it's still a Bluetooth accessory that needs a charged battery, so it's not exactly like the magic of the S Pen, which didn't need a battery, but it's there. Oh, and it costs €100. And if you're the kind of person who loves smartphones, PhoneArena is releasing the ultimate coffee table book for phone fans. It's a passion project in the making for over a year, with deep dives and high-res photos of the most iconic, experimental, evolutionary mobile phones since the 2000s. We also got takes and quotes from big tech influencer names: Linus Tech Tips, Max Tech, Mr. Who's the Boss, Super Saf, Rig Everything, Austin Evans, Brandon Butch, John Rattinger, in no particular order. Exclusive limited run print is scheduled to release this fall. Link in the description for details and email notification. Moving on to that hardware performance, wow. Okay, so the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has a Snapdragon 8 Elite tuned for Galaxy with a clock speed of 4.47 GHz. That's versus the Magic V5 with a normal Snapdragon 8 Elite for normal people at 4.32 GHz. But look at these benchmark results. Single core Geekbench, the Honor is slightly faster than multi-core, very slightly lower. The 3D Mark test is much more interesting. Yes, the Galaxy Z Fold does get a higher top score, but it quickly throttles after a couple of cycles and drops off, whereas the Magic V5 barely throttles. What kind of thermal management does this thing have? Dark magic? I have to say, while both of these perform great for gaming, I hate the positioning of the speakers of the Magic V5, like they're on the opposite flaps diagonally, so no matter how I hold it, I'm always blocking one of the speakers. Like, it's a shame too, because these are pretty valid speakers. A bit honky, but wide and kind of detailed. I think the Z Fold 7 speakers are slightly better, but no knock on the Magic V5 speakers, aside from the positioning. Needless to say, I really like the feel of both phones. They are super fast and snappy and fun and responsive. You'd hope so for $2,000, right? You'd also hope to get some nice cameras, right? So the Honor Magic V5 has a 50 megapixel main camera, 50 megapixel ultra-wide, 64 megapixel zoom camera with a 3x zoom lens. With digital zoom, it goes up to 100 times AI-enhanced photos. The Galaxy Z Fold 7 has the 200 megapixel main camera sensor from the Galaxy S25 Ultra, which is chef's kiss, very good. But then it says, it will be fine, and gives you a 12 megapixel ultra-wide camera and 10 megapixel 3x zoom camera that can go up to 30 times digital. So I like the main camera of the Z Fold 7 better. It's just more natural and balanced when directly compared to the Magic V5. The latter has more pronounced HDR artifacts like the oversaturation or the auras around the objects. Also, when you take them inside, the Z Fold 7 has more dynamics, where the Magic V5 seems to have two modes: highlights, shadows, no midtones. Alright, I'm over exaggerating just to point out the difference. The Magic V5 is not a bad camera. Its ultra-wide lens is wider than on the Galaxy. I really like its corner correction. Like I can't see distortion even though it's such a wide angle. But details are noticeably softer and you get those oversaturated warm colors again. In zooming, the Magic V5 gives me better results, I think. Like at 10x, that's still a very usable photo. The Z Fold 7 picture is also not bad, but it's kind of getting darker and with this weird blue sheet over the whole thing. I do want to show you this too. So for 100x, the Honor Magic V5 employs AI to kind of recognize what you're taking a photo of and maybe reconstruct it. It's a fun concept, a bit hit or miss in reality, and it begs the question again, are we even taking photos? Okay, if you've seen the battery specs of the Honor, you may have lost your hat. It has 5820 milliamp cell back there. In this thin body. Well, yeah, it's new-ish silicon carbon tech that Honor and some other manufacturers have been working on for a while now. You may wonder, why isn't everyone using silicon carbon? Well, there are still some concerns about the lifespan of these batteries. But I'm not bad-mouthing Honor, they've been developing this tech for a while, so hoping all is good. By comparison, the Galaxy Z Fold 7 has a 4400 mAh battery, which is still quite impressive for the older LiPo tech. And here are the battery life results in our benchmarks. In general, we expect an extra hour of screen on time with the Honor Magic V5. The Magic V5 also has faster charger. It's a 66 watt charger, which may or may not be in the box depending on where you're buying it. 80% of battery for 30 minutes is wild. The Z Fold 7 only gets up to 46% in the same time window. So in general, is the Honor Magic V5 more magical than the Galaxy Z Fold 7? It certainly has a lot going for it. If it had even more market availability, it would probably be a very serious contender here. Samsung does have the benefit of infrastructure. And you know, if something goes wrong, you can go to a warranty center or whatever. But you know what? I hope you never need one. And if you never need one, both of these phones are absolutely excellent. 7 years of software support and updates. Cameras are a bit better on the Samsung, of course, but that's it. Which one is yours? You made it this far. Drop a like and a sub, and I'll see you next time. Bye!